Hello and welcome to another episode of the Michigan Style Channel, the show that proves Michigan has style. I am your host and fashion stylist, Sharina Monique Osai, and I'm really excited about our show today. We have Nick Bro from LeConte in Rochester Hills, Michigan, and he is going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to dress and pull yourself together well. We have interview questions, and we also have some great outfits that we're going to go through to give you guys some great tips. So keep watching. And welcome back to the Michigan Style Channel. I am here with Nick Bro from LeConte in Rochester Hills. He is going to talk to us a little bit about men's fashion, men's style, answer some of our viewers' questions, and give us some help. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so excited about this. I've been wanting to do a men's show for a while, so I'm really happy that you're on.
Oh, we're happy we're here. Thank you.
Good. So tell us about LeConte. Give us a little bit of your background and a little bit about your store.
Well, LeConte is a store that my parents opened back in 1986.
Okay.
I've literally grown up in the business.
Mm-hmm.
I started working there when I was 12, so I've literally been working there for more than half my life.
Wow.
Something that we have a passion for,
mm-hmm.
quality service, taking care of the guys in the area, and we've been doing it ever since. As I said, when we started, there was 11 men's stores in the area. Now it's just us, and so we're clearly doing something right and having a good time doing it.
That's awesome. So LeConte is an interesting name. What does that mean?
Well, LeConte, it's actually a good story. LeConte is actually a pear, like a Macintosh apple or Granny
mm-hmm.
Smith apple. It's a LeConte pear.
Okay.
And it was derived from my parents having a women's shoe store before LeConte called Pears.
Oh.
Spelled like the fruit. Their logo
Okay.
was the pear.
Uh-huh.
So then coming into the men's store, they ended up just kind of finding the name, liked it, and stuck with it.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah.
All right, so what is your store known for? Like, what do your customers come to you for?
First of all, it's the service. Really, there's a lot of places to buy clothes. I mean, maybe not small stores like ours, but in the broad range, from the Nordstroms to Saks to the Macy's, Parisians, lots of places to buy clothes, but not many places that you can come in, enjoy a one-on-one experience with somebody who knows what they're talking about,
mm-hmm.
knows about colors, patterns, fit. And so first and foremost, it's the service. But then it's also the quality. We believe that quality clothing, you should buy something once and not have to replace it for 3 or 4 seasons.
I know
it
that's
shouldn't
right.
be wear it 2 or 3 times, wash it, and then you have to get rid of it. So
mm-hmm.
it's service and quality, something that we stand behind, it's something that's got us through these last 26 years.
That is awesome.
Yep.
That's so great. And that is important, coming to a store where people know what they're talking about and not just an associate who they hired who has no background in fashion or style and who can't really help you.
Absolutely. I mean, we get a lot of times where a guy will come in because they have taken their shot at a place that maybe is a little less expensive. They're
mm-hmm.
offering that big deal that you can come in and buy 1, get 3 free.
Yeah. But
the people there don't necessarily know how to fit them, so they spend all this money on the clothing and then the alterations, and they still look like boxes. They don't fit them the way they should. They don't look like it's their clothing. It looks like they're wearing somebody else's. And so it's huge. And I think guys really appreciate that once they've made that decision to come to see us, they can tell the difference.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So you work with men on a day-to-day basis, mm-hmm. helping them with fashion and style and all that. So in your opinion, what is the #1 problem that men have when it comes to fashion and style?
I honestly think it's the difference between getting ready for the day and getting dressed for the day. A lot of guys, unfortunately today, we are in a casual environment in our workplace. Not many are wearing suits like they used to. Mm-hmm. Even sport coats are kind of going by the wayside. It's this business casual environment. Well, I don't know why this has happened, but it seems like business casual to a lot of people means kind of sloppy. It's just going and finding that pair of Dockers and just a polo shirt or just a basic sports shirt, throwing it on. They don't necessarily look great or put together. It's just, that's my uniform.
Yeah.
And I think when you come to see us, it's getting you to realize that it doesn't have to be a uniform. It's something that you can enjoy wearing all day long. If you are going out after, you don't feel like, oh, I have to come home and change. No, I look good, I feel good, and that translates into the mood of how you work. It translates into who you are, and I think that is the biggest problem, is that guys just don't realize today, and especially being in a business casual environment for the last 15 years, they don't know how to dress anymore. So if now they need an event or have an event that they got to go to, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So it's helping them kind of guide their way with sportswear, through casual, and then through dress and formal wear. Yep.
I remember, that's good that you say that. I remember when I was younger, my mom used to tell me, Sharina, I know you like, you know, looking trendy and cute and all that, but you have to have lots of different things in your wardrobe. So when you do have to get dressed for different events, you have a full wardrobe and not just casual clothes.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be as intimidating to do that as a lot of people might think. You know, there are a few key pieces that if you have them in your closet or your dresser, you're going to be set for a lot of different things. And then you can build from there. You know, it doesn't have to be, oh, I need, you know, 6 suits for, you know, I've got 5 weddings coming up. No, you can do things to change it up, to be versatile for all those situations.
That's good. That's a good point. So we asked some of our viewers some questions, and one question that we got was how to properly mix prints.
Okay.
I know there's lots of patterned shirts, and of course most ties have some type of a pattern on it, sweaters, all that type of stuff. So how do you tackle that?
You know, it depends, a lot of things depend on, first of all, the guy's industry. You know, some industries allow a guy to be a little bit more, as I'll say, aggressive in terms of their patterns. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, it's just maybe a little bit more aggressive. And I think as we were speaking about Sports Center broadcasters, NFL Game Day broadcasters, these guys, they've got a lot of style. They maybe put things together you might see and go, oh, that looks different, but I'm going to try it. It might not necessarily be for you or what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it really takes the guy, but I brought a couple examples of some things that we can take a look at in terms of patterns and neckwear. So the basic that every guy has in their wardrobe is a white or blue shirt. Okay. They might have a variation of blues or ecrus or solids, but then they might have checks or things of this nature. Well, when you're doing shirts like this, what we want to focus on is the base of that shirt. It is a basic blue shirt. So when we're doing patterns, it depends on the industry, but you can do things that ties in the blue like we have here with the polka dots.
Oh, that's nice.
So you can do things where you pull that all together. This is a little bit more of a tamer look. This is what we call a neat in terms of the tie. So this allows a guy to now maybe have some fun with his suit or the sport coat he's wearing. The sweater, if he's wearing a sweater over the top, doesn't need to be solid. Because it is more tame, he can have some more options with it. Okay.
So it's just about choosing one unifying color between both patterns.
Yeah, you want to harmonize something that kind of ties everything together. That's the biggest key. Because if you just do a solid tie here that doesn't pull in the blue, and then you do a completely different color sport coat or a suit, and then you got a whole kind of a mess going on.
You look like your closet threw up on you.
A little bit, and you want to avoid things like that. But you can even come back and grab this here to be, like I said, a little bit more aggressive when it comes to neckwear. Now this is the same shirt, but done with a beautiful
that looks good.
paisley. Now where I've pulled in the color is just here within the paisley. There's just a touch of blue, not much. But what you can do now is in terms of pants, you can come back here and do tans, browns, back to blacks. If you wanted to do a black blazer look with a pair of tan or brown pants, now you've tied it all together. You've brought it back. The neckwear is definitely more patterned than the polka dot, but it still has the same effect.
Works.
Yeah, absolutely.
That looks good.
Yep. And then one step further, you have significantly patterned shirts, and then bringing neckwear into it as well. So when you're going with a higher higher pattern shirt like this, you want to come back to a little bit more of a simpler neckwear.
Okay.
Still tying together the blues and the whites as you see here within the plaid in the tie. But because it's not an aggressive pattern tie like the paisley, it will pull it all together.
Okay, I like that.
And then lastly, again, a beautiful bold shirt brought back together.
That's nice.
Yes. So now you can, again, it goes back to, even looks like this, we're seeing guys do it with jeans. You know, we're seeing a lot of that today, where guys are doing shirts and ties, a sport coat and jeans.
Yeah.
Going out to a, you know, maybe a dinner that's not so fancy, but they still want to be dressed up a bit.
Yeah.
So things like this, you know, might not necessarily be for the corporate workplace, but in the evening are a great option.
That's good. And so, but that's like the basic idea, pulling together one color that kind of ties everything together. And you can do that with bold patterns or more subtle patterns.
Correct. Yeah, you just don't want to get it to the point where, in my opinion, I do not like monotone. So you don't want the tie to be the same color as the shirt.
Okay.
Because then you're kind of losing the tie. My whole thought to a tie is it's a pop off the chest. It's a pop of color. It's supposed to bring that attention here. So if you're going monotone with it, you kind of lose it, and then it's almost like, why wear a tie at all?
Okay, so that segues into our next question about tie knots and the different types of knots and what occasions those might be appropriate for.
Yes, well, there really are. There's 4 different types of knots for long neck ties.
Okay.
There is the 4-in-hand, the half Windsor, the full Windsor, and then the Pratt knot.
Okay.
Pratt knot, I'm not real familiar with the Pratt. It's kind of a different type of tie. It almost is a hybrid of a 4-in-hand and a half Windsor. You tie it backwards. It's different. It's kind of difficult. It's almost like a guy who wants to try something different.
Okay.
It's not an everyday knot. So the 3 I really want to focus on are the 4-in-hand, the half Windsor, and the full Windsor.
Okay, cool.
So the 4-in-hand is going to be your most basic kind of tie knot. This knot here, it's an elongated triangle. This is great for guys with fuller faces. This is great for guys that are wearing longer point collars where the space isn't real broad in between the points.
Okay.
This is a great everyday. If a guy's tall like myself, if he needs that length on the tie so it gets to the belt buckle, this is a great knot. It doesn't take a lot to do it, and it really works for pretty much any tie.
Okay.
The half Windsor, this is a more symmetrical knot. Got a little bit more of a triangle shape as opposed to just the elongation. Still a little bit longer. Can be used in point collars, can also be used in moderate spreads, where it's a little bit more of a spread but not quite that wide spread. It takes a little bit more of the tie to make that knot. It's great in formal situations if you want a little bit of a thicker knot, to showcase that off if you are wearing that spread. But pretty good for any guy. Again, if you have a real full face, anytime you can elongate it with the 4-in-hand or the half Windsor, it's better. It's going to make you look thinner. It's not going to feel like it's all pushed up around the face.
Adding weight to your face.
Exactly. And then finally, this is kind of an exaggerated Windsor. This is a Windsor knot.
Okay.
Incredibly what I call a fat knot. It's really thick, really wide, big triangle to it. Great for those English spread collars. You're not going to find a lot of those just off the rack. If a guy's wearing an English spread, he's probably had it made, most likely. And if he's had it made, it's probably because his face and his body allows him to wear an English spread.
Okay.
You know, it's a great opportunity for a guy to be a little bit more fashionable. Like myself, if I'm wearing a sweater, I like to do a Windsor because it shows more of the knot because my whole tie is being hidden by the sweater.
Right.
So that's a great opportunity. But again, it comes back to the guy's face shape. You can't forego that. So if a guy is incredibly heavy or full through the face, this is only going to make it more pronounced, and probably going to want to avoid that in any situation.
Yeah, that's a good tip. But I noticed that this knot seems to be really popular with younger people. Like you said, it's a little bit more fashionable.
Agreed. And it's going to be worn, you're going to see a lot of young people wearing it with sweaters or things like that. Because by the time you tie this, the knot is really just
short.
midway through the torso.
Yeah.
That's why you see a lot of the sports guys wearing it, because they're sitting down, they're being cut off by the desk, and they can wear that without looking like it's this long.
Okay.
So it gives their tie a little bit more pronunciation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely a little bit younger of a look.
Okay. So let's talk about body shape a little bit. What brands are good for the petite guy, the tall and slim guy, the big and tall guy? Because I know fit is huge in menswear, and sometimes brands don't carry over through every body shape and all that. Could you hit on that a little bit?
Absolutely. You know, what we're seeing a lot of today, even though they say our country's getting more obese, we're seeing trim fit come back, contemporary fit, modern fit, slim fit, many names for the same thing. We're seeing that with a lot of the more contemporary looks, but even in our basic traditional cuts, they're trimming them up. Everything is kind of becoming more narrow. So if you're a guy like me who's bigger, some of those contemporary fits are not going to work.
Right.
It's unfortunate because I like a lot of the shirts, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to go up in size, and then we need to make some adjustments, but that can be done. So if you're a petite guy, I would say that any time you can find a slim fit, a contemporary fit, it's not necessarily by brand.
Okay.
We have a couple brands called Marcello and Jack Lipson, Zagiri. These lines are designed for that untucked trim fit look. It's a great look. But then we've got lines like Cutter & Buck, Scott Barber, that are more designed for just what we call a gentleman's cut. So it's every guy. So if it's a guy's petite and he likes that traditional look and it feels boxy, there's an alteration that we can do on shirts called tapering, where we actually go up the sides of the shirts and bring it in to give them that look. Okay. So you are not forgotten if you like those traditional looks. We can tailor them to fit you.
Awesome.
If you're a bigger guy, like myself, I am a big and tall guy. I'm 6'5". I need to order talls in pretty much everything. So Cutter & Buck is our key line that has pretty much tall in everything they do, which is fantastic. It's nice to be able to have somebody come in and, what do you do in talls? I can show them all my tables and my cabinets and say, anything you need here, I can order it. But we're seeing actually an influx in all of our lines. They're adding some tall pieces. Maybe it's not the whole collection,
right? But
it's pieces, because they're realizing too, we are getting taller as a society.
Yeah.
And then just for in terms of fit in general, custom shirtings and custom suits. I mean, we can do anything for anybody. I've got guys that make me look tiny, and I got customers that I make look incredibly small.
Yeah.
And by custom, I can do and fit any way they want, and they are not shorted on the fabrics. They can go through everything we have and say, I like this, I like that, let's make it up. And it comes out fitting them the way they need it to.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. This was really great information, and we're excited to come back with you and talk about some of these outfits that you have here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching the Michigan Style channel. We'll be right back.
There's only one way a champion long jumper can clear an entire herd of elephants. When they've been butchered for their ivory. Help put an end to the illegal wildlife trade before it's too late.
We're back. Thank you so much for tuning into the Michigan Style channel. We are still here with Nick Bro of LeConte, and now we're going to go through some outfits that you brought.
Absolutely. So I want to start here with a couple of casual outfits.
Okay.
The first of which being more of a contemporary, as we were talking about traditional contemporary looks for different guys.
Right.
Being a little bit more contemporary, but more of a hybrid. I mean, it's not so out there that the average guy would feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm showcasing here a killer pair of blue jeans, one of our lines that we carry called 34 Heritage. We feature them as a dress blue jean. Coming in several different colors, things that guys can wear dressed up with a sport coat if they want to. Not your typical Levi.
Right.
You're not going to be working around the house in these. Then I have a kind of a contemporary striped shirt done with the open spread collar, untucked, then featuring over it with a gray cardigan. Perfect time of year for it. It's beautiful outside.
Yes.
You don't need a winter coat, but you need something. Cardigans are coming back. Shawl collars are coming back. Best of both worlds, kind of ties it all together. And as you were saying, you can use the cardigan in many different lights. Use same pair of blue jeans, a dressy t-shirt, and a scarf. Lots of things a cardigan can do. Very versatile. Just a neat piece to add to your wardrobe.
And buttoning it up would give you a totally different look.
Absolutely. It could be more dressy.
Yeah.
You can even come back shirt and tie with that.
Yep.
And over here I have another outfit, a little bit more on the traditional side. Traditional lamb's wool argyle
Okay.
sweater. Pair of khakis. good pair of cotton khakis is essential in any wardrobe because, again, can go through so many different looks that you might have, whether it is just a lounging around picnic or you want to throw it with a blazer and an open shirt. Can do a lot for you. So then we featured it with a nice pattern striped shirt, kind of talking about tying patterns and colors together. If you look at the shirt here, there is all of these colors featured in the shirt. So even though it is kind of an aggressive stripe underneath the argyle, it all ties back to one another.
I love this. This is a really fresh look.
It is. And you know what? And typically for fall, you see so much dark. It's kind of neat to have a sweater and shirt and outfit that is on the lighter side. Then over here, I brought a couple sport coat looks. The first one being what I like to call a pant eater sport coat. This goes with a ton of pants that you already have in your wardrobe, from all shades of gray, black, even blue jeans. Aside from the basic blue or black blazer, if a guy wants just that go-to sport coat for any occasion, we're going out to dinner, or we got an event or a meeting, this is the way to go. You don't have to worry about having, you know, one outfit. If you wore this again one day and you wore it again another day with a different pair of pants and a different shirt, people won't remember that you wore this coat before. And that's key. And that's where I would really encourage anybody to start. If you're going to start with a wardrobe of clothing, meaning suits or sport coats, start with something that is going to be versatile for a lot of different occasions.
That's good. That's good.
And then over here, another sport coat, a little bit more of a pattern. So this is one of those things that if you wore this on a Monday, don't try wearing it again on Thursday, because they're going to go, okay, you're duplicating it, stop it. Again, very versatile in terms of pants. Below here I have 4 trousers that all go here, blacks, grays, even the tans to pull in this from this plaid.
I love that.
Can also be done with a white shirt or blue shirt, but because the pattern in the sport coat is so out there, you want to keep it solid with shirtings. You don't want too much going on. Again, going back to looking kind of like a mess. And then over here, I brought a suit look. One of many suit looks. You know, guys aren't dressing like they used to. So what we've decided at LeConte is to bring in suits that are going to be versatile as well. Even though, yeah, it's a charcoal gray with a russet stripe, it's still going to be dressy enough for a meeting. It's going to be dressy enough for a wedding. Unfortunately, dressy enough for probably a funeral. But it's still going to come back and tie all those events in. You want something in your wardrobe, in your closet, that if that event comes up, you're not going, oh my, I got 2 days to figure something out. This is going to work. Amongst many other styles that we carry, we don't do anything too crazy. Where we see some more fun patterns is, again, going back to custom. From there, you have 500 fabrics you can choose from and have some fun with it if you want that special signature piece.
I love this. I love how you pull the tie, the handkerchief, back into the stripe on the suit.
Absolutely. And see, the shirt itself is that blue check that I showed earlier. Because it's more of a muted pattern, it doesn't stand out right away. You can have some more fun with your shirts, and then we just tie in that russet stripe with the tie. And then your pocket square, we see a lot of guys trying to do the same pattern, same pocket square as the tie is. You don't really want to do that necessarily. I mean, some occasions for formal events with the satins, that's one thing. But when it comes to everyday dress, to show a little pocket square with a little paisley, that kind of ties it all together with the blue and the russets and the grays. As we like to say, a little bit snotty, but in a good way.
And it makes it look a little more fresh.
Absolutely. A pocket square does add a little bit of flair, which is very cool.
That's awesome.
And then finally, I brought a tuxedo with a top coat look. The top coat itself, I brought as also to talk about as more of a piece that is great for any wardrobe. As we mentioned earlier, if a guy needs a good winter coat, this is a great route to go, because you can wear it with a tux, suit, sport coat, or even a pair of jeans. And then the tuxedo itself, we still focus on the traditional notch lapel, satin, 1 or 2 button tuxedo. You know, if you are doing at least 2 formal events a year, I recommend buying one.
Oh, of course.
Because you're at a point now where it's upwards of $200, $250 just to rent one.
Exactly, and you can't custom fit it.
No, and it looks like a box most of the times. Yeah, they can pull in the waist, they can shorten the sleeves, but it doesn't fit you like it should fit. So if you're doing 2 a year, you've paid for a tuxedo within 2-3 years. So definitely recommend it. But then where things kind of change up quite a bit is in the accessories, shirts and ties. We are seeing a trend go back to bow ties for formal events. For a long time it was the satin neckwear. Long ties or even vests, fancy vests, we're still seeing that. But we're now seeing a trend go back to neckwear and even, or to bow ties, forgive me. But even with shirts, they're not the traditional necessarily stud sets. Still doing those as well, but clean, James Bond, white shirt, French cuff, bow tie.
Yeah.
Really clean, but great for any formal event.
I love that, and I love how you played with the pocket square here and added some color.
Add a pop of color. Again, bring that focus back to the chest. So if you're not doing it with the bow tie, because you're matching obviously the satin, the black satin from the lapels to the bow tie, do it with a pocket square. And it doesn't have to be paisley, it can be solid.
Yeah.
But have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Show some expression.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
So why do you think the bow tie is coming back a little bit?
You know, honestly, I think the bow tie is coming back because we haven't seen it in a long time. I think that, you know, everything goes through trends. You know, I have a lot of customers that say, wow, had I just held on to that sport coat for 20 years, it would have been back already. But I think it's because we haven't seen it in a while and it is fresh. We're seeing athletes. We're seeing examples, Dhani Jones. Dhani Jones, he wears his bow tie with everything. He wears a bow tie with a shirt and tie and a shirt, bow tie, and jeans with a suit. Formal events. So I think, you know, as we start seeing it more in mainstream media, we're going to start seeing it go back into everybody's everyday closet.
You know what, that's really good because I feel like our culture has gotten so casual and now people are just tired and they're trying to get back to when people actually got dressed.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the casual society, I believe when you look and dress casual, your whole mindset's casual. You're not going to work as hard. I mean, I think so. If we can just pull back, even have some fun with it. It doesn't have to be all stuffy. It can be a fun bow tie, a fun pattern. In this case, obviously, it's a formal tie, but even in everyday wear with some pattern, some fun, you know, it will just bring that dress back. It'll bring that confidence back to the workplace.
Yeah, and that's good because how you dress affects how you think, and that's some motivation for guys who don't like to dress up.
Absolutely.
But it affects how you think and how you feel, how you act, and also how other people perceive you.
Absolutely.
So you may not be one who likes to dress up or put a whole lot of thought into what you wear, but when you realize that people judge you, shallow though it may be, but they judge you based on what you're wearing and how you're presenting yourself, it kind of gives you some motivation to step it up a little bit.
Well, absolutely, and it's, you know, they say, you know, dress for the position you want, not the one you have.
Yeah.
Well, that might not necessarily mean a suit, shirt, and tie, but it might be wearing a nicer sweater. It might be wearing a bow tie. It might be doing something that's a little bit more dressy to set yourself apart from the guy who's just waking up, throwing on his uniform and going to work.
That's right. That's good. I love that. Wow, thank you so much, Nick. This has been so great.
My pleasure.
And thank you so much for bringing out all this great merchandise.
It's been fun, absolutely. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. And thank you so much for watching the Michigan Style channel. Guys, I hope you guys got some good tips from this show. Watch it again, share it with your other friends, and just think about some of the things we talked about. What you wear affects how you think and how other people perceive you. So put that extra 10 or 15 minutes into it. If you have to, make a lookbook. If you're not good at getting dressed in the morning, put together some really nice outfits, take pictures of yourself in them, put it in a little photo book, put it in your closet, and when you need to get dressed, you can just flip through and find a good outfit in a snap. You can contact us at michiganstylechanel@gmail.com or check us out at michiganstylechanel.com. Thank you so much, and I hope you tune in again soon.